You're raving with RWR. Fabulous songwriters from Belgium and beyond, the lowlands, the highlands, and far across the pond. On Instagram and Facebook too, you can follow, like, and share. Please hit subscribe and join the tribe from the comfort of your chair. You're raving with RWR. Good evening all, how you doing? Very welcome back to Raving with RWR. Doherty Rua is my name. This is episode number 59 here today. And yeah, welcome everybody. If you're watching live, let us know where you're watching live from, and if you have any comments or questions from myself or the guest, I'll put them up on screen there. How are you all doing? It is Wednesday the 16th of December. We're getting close to Christmas, and as you all well know, and it's lovely to be back here doing another show for you tonight. As always, sponsored by the kind people of G-Sharp Guitars up there, the world's finest travel electric guitars. Check them out if you get a chance in the links below. If you're so inclined, please consider dropping a few shekels there into the PayPal account in the links also there below if you want to. Never expected, but always appreciated. That's the virtual tip jar. It's open down there below. And if you are watching on YouTube, please consider hitting the subscribe button there below and the notification bell so that you won't miss a trick. And I do these streams. It's a small part of the channel. Have a look at the other playlists for many other songwriters. We do present singer-songwriters, the best singer-songwriters from Belgium and beyond on this show and on this channel, and that is the name of the game. We have a couple of live viewers already, I see, which is brilliant. We have, of course, a couple of stalwarts there. Chris from Germany. Guten Abend, sir. Lovely to see you, as always, tuned in there from Germany. And of course, and again, she likes the new intro song. First time to hear it, and again, is it? Okay, well, that's the most brilliant song I ever wrote, and the shortest. maybe the last song I'll ever write. Who knows? But there you go. Maybe I'll release it on Bandcamp or something. Who knows? So, and if you're watching, of course, on Facebook, please feel free to share this link out. Let your friends know we're watching, so that our guests can also get a bit of publicity out of it. Let them know you're going to watch. You are watching, rather, myself and Jamie, and all going to plan. If the International Space Station allows, and the satellites are aligned, all going to plan. We're going to head over to Bulgaria and meet the man from Carlo himself, Jamie Mc Donald. Are you there, sir?
I am. I'm still here. How are you doing?
Hello, Jamie. How are you?
I'm only mighty. Good to be here. Hello, everyone out there, wherever you are.
See, he's a pro. Look, he's already, look, amazing. Saying hello to the audience as well. Look at that. A real pro. You were. It's the tea. Yeah, I'm still on the I'm on the wine myself this side. Are you feeling better? You had Corona.
I did. Sure, why not? I hate to miss out on anything. I wouldn't recommend it, but I had to try it.
Yeah, of course. As long as you're fine, right? You seem to be all right. You're over the. You're out the far side of it, are you?
Yeah, touch wood. We myself and my partner Nora had it, but we both survived and came out the other side. Yeah, wow. Luckily. Yeah.
I see. Well, as long as you're okay, as I said, and soon we'll all be getting the jab, maybe, and getting over it once and for all. Yeah,
I'll be having a double anyway.
You'll be having the double. Strange times, these Corona times. You're a hard-working songwriter, Jamie. How did this all affect you? I mean, you obviously lost gigs, did you?
Yeah, your gigs went out the window. I should start. I mean, I forget it started in just before St. Patrick's Day.
It did.
So you're all geared up for that, which is one of the biggest gigs, as you know yourself. As an Irish musician, St. Patrick's Day is a big event, and then you thought, oh, sure, it'll last a month or two. And then you stopped kind of even thinking about booking gigs in case you had to cancel.
Yeah, indeed.
And on St. Patrick's Day, then I did the first of many live broadcasts that I did online. So St. Patrick's Day actually kicked it off for me.
Okay.
I was kind of feeling sad looking at the poster that I had done for the St. Patrick's Day event, and so I did a live stream. The gig that never happened.
The gig that never happened. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you did a lot of those streams were quite successful for you, Jimmy. You did quite a few of them. How many in total?
Yeah. Well, it's ongoing, to be honest.
Still ongoing.
I'm
Yeah.
still looking into them. So I do a mixture of doing them here for myself, from my own site, but as the World Tour of Nowhere, I was pitching it from other people's sites. So venues and clubs and pubs around the world. So we did all kinds of stuff. We did New York, we did India, we did Australia, and loads of places in between, streaming from other people's sites just to interact with a
Yeah.
new audience. So, it became a world tour. I kind of, it was tongue in cheek to call it a world tour of nowhere, because, I
World
was
Tour of
sat on my
Nowhere.
Todd
Yeah.
here in my spare room, in the office here. And, but I mean, it really did get out there and touch people all over the world, which was absolutely amazing, and
Absolutely.
a real pleasure. I mean, I didn't expect it, and I maybe that's why it was so much fun. Zero expectation from it. It was just something to do when we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and was that completely solo, or was that with your band members as well, or how did you?
No, at the time it was just me, because again, nobody knew what was happening. We were,
Yeah.
brand new to it all. So we were in isolation here in the apartment, essentially, or at least in the neighborhood. So I couldn't get people together. I wanted to. Obviously, it would have been lovely. Actually, one of the clips I sent you there is what we ended up doing. Is with Damo, who is a friend of mine from years ago, but we play together whenever we can. He lives in Waterford, actually. Um,
Okay. Well.
yeah, so we kind of put that clip together for a session that we do on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
This is a funny one. There's a pub in Waterford. I don't know if you know Waterford at all, do you?
A little bit. I played one of the folk clubs
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Right. Well, there's a little bar there, Jordan's American bar on the Keys.
No, don't know it.
Well, normally they have a Tuesday night session, and it's just a free
Yeah.
open jam. It's not just trad. It's absolutely everything and anything, And anytime I've been in the neighborhood, I've dropped in, and so they've kept it going by doing an online version. And so we made that clip that you have there with Damo playing the saxophone and the bass, and I did the guitar and the vocals here in Bulgaria, and sent it to him, and then he added his parts.
Yeah.
So the whole, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, crisis has opened up all these ideas for people, I suppose, and definitely for us. Along with the gigs, we want to still interact with people, because I think that's the big thing I miss, is not having a live gig with other musicians.
Yeah. Indeed. Same as all of us, I suppose. I was going to say, you do you still do, or I know you have done, because you did a lot of the Brussels scene around the same time I was doing it, the Irish bar scene. Do you still do a lot of public gigs, or is it a mix now of kind of listening rooms, bar gigs, or is it mainly listening rooms that you're doing, or is it how's that?
Let me think back to the mist of time of 10 months ago, when life was normal. What did we used to do? Jeez. All kinds of stuff. In Bulgaria, there's a lot of clubs and rock bars around the country. So we take a trip around the country once every few months with the band and get them different places. And then when I can, I get out of Bulgaria and visit Europe. So Holland, France, Germany, everywhere really.
Yeah.
But the thing that I did with the band, which I don't know if I talked to you about this before, was because I had traveled a lot, I had met musicians all over. So the Number 9 as a band, which is the name of the backing band, or the band, whatever you want to call them, is very loose collective of about 20 musicians who, depending on where I am, I pick up whoever's close by. So while on record, I'll try and bring in everyone, or as many as I can. It changes when I'm touring, obviously. So sometimes I've had like the Number 9, the Irish version, but then I've flown in Rodri, for instance, from Spain. So the last album I did in Ireland was Melodies of Country and Soul. And that had a good bunch of musicians on it, but Rodri came from Spain to do his parts on the recording. And then he came over for the album launch, and we did some gigs around the country. So it depends where I am. So it's a mixture of that kind of thing.
It's a great idea to have that kind of melting pot to dip into, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really fires me up then, and it means, obviously, any of the people I play with, that we have a chemistry and a magic together. but you get to recreate things in a different light wherever you go. And then occasionally you get to mix the bands. You know, there's a few variations of the band. So you have like the Bulgarian guys and the Irish guys and the Spanish guys, and this lovely, melting pot, as you say. So it's a real privilege to do that. It really is.
Well, why don't we kick off with that clip that we were talking about before we have
Wonderful,
more
yeah.
chat? Just give me a second to load it up. Tell us, while I'm doing that, just tell us who you're jamming with. This is a little online thing that you're doing, as you were saying before. Who's jamming with you here?
Yeah. So this on both instruments, apart from me, is Damien Mc Donald, who lives in Waterford. But I know this guy almost going on 20 years, almost 15, 20 years from Galway is where we met. And
right.
He plays almost everything. One of those guys that make you sick, you know.
One of those guys, yeah, I know those.
He can play absolutely anything. Yeah.
Amazing.
So here he is on bass and sax, but he also plays drums and percussion and everything and anything. The song is originally on. Yeah, it's on Melodies of Country and Soul, but this is like a slower version we worked up. The one on the album is almost like a disco version, so it's complete contrast to the album version, which is nice.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, brilliant. And people can get your music, of course, just so I'll put it up on screen there. Jamie Mc Donald
Great.
on the #9 bandcamp.com, right? That's where where you need to go
exactly
to get any of your recordings. Yeah. Great, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Well, look, I'm going to give this song a spin. It's a great track. As I said, was it part of your live stream sessions when you did them?
This one, no, it was a one we put together because obviously Damo was playing tunes, so we compiled it slowly. You know, he added his parts after I did. You know,
very nice.
So it was for a live session in Waterford is what this was for. But the online live session.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we're going to have a give it a spin. This longing my bones. It's called. Great song from Jamie and a bit of an online jam here with the man's name again.
Damien Mc Donald.
Damo, great playing.
Yeah.
My darling, you're my dear. When no one else draws near, and I'm sorry, baby, how I done you wrong. Come back to me, oh, come back to me. Take this longing from my bones. Every stone I've ever thrown returned and broke my bones. I can't see how that's anyone's idea of fun. But you know I've done. If I've hurt anyone, no one, baby, more than myself. You are my darling, my dear. No one else draws near. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, how I done you wrong. Well, come back to me. Oh, come back to me. Come take this longing from my bones. I wanted it to be. Everything went so wrong for me. Oh, anything you ask, I'm yours to command. Here I am, my darling baby. I'm your man. You are my darling, you're my dear. Oh, and no one else draws near. You know I'm sorry, darling, for how I done you wrong. Come back to me, come back to me, oh, come back to me, come back to me, oh, you take it long enough from my phone. You are my darling, my dear. No one else draws near. I'm so sorry, baby. Oh, I know I've done you wrong. Come back to me. Oh, come back to me and take this longing from my bones.
Mighty stuff, mighty stuff.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Take as long as for my bones. That was a great little jam there.
Yeah.
And what a great soulful voice you have, man. Absolutely.
We try, right? You've
I
only got
always
the one
admired
voice.
your- always, yeah, but I've admired that voice of yours for a long time. Did you, when you grew up as a teenager? I assume you grew up in Ireland, like listening. Did you listen to a lot of Irish music, folk music? What was the jazz, blues? What was your main influence growing
I
up, or
think
did you have many?
absolutely everything. I think those very few doors closed. When I was, as a teenager, I think that's when you soak up the most music between having the time and your friends and influences. So, the family always sang. If there was a gathering, there was music. My dad sang. My dad would sing a lot of folk songs, Leonard Cohen, like older stuff, Fairport Convention, some Christy Moore songs, of course, as well, and traditional songs. So I had a lot of that. He went to college in Manchester in the 60s. So he was slap bang in the middle of the folk boom, if you will.
Sure was.
So I had
Sure
that
was.
side, then my uncle was in a Doors cover band, again back in the day, called The Word, with do you know Leo Kelly from
I do. Lee from Sonny Condell and Leo Kelly. Yeah, Turner
yeah,
Lug.
exactly, yeah. So Leo was in The Word with my uncle. So I have that kind of rock side going on in the family too, Then I have cousins who were DJs, and my brother, obviously, he's 6 years older. He had a lot of influence. He was in university when I was 6 years younger. So I was just at that time when music is really starting to mean something to a kid. And so he was pouring classics in on top of me from all directions. And so there was almost nothing closed to me, which I've really tried to keep alive in myself when writing. Instead of thinking, can I do this kind of song? I'm always trying to convince myself, not always successfully, but I kind of try and remember, if it's coming from me, it must be the right path,
Yeah.
Instead of trying to close the door, but too soon, which is a habit that, you know, I think it's easy to get into with having doubt as a writer. You write a line and you think nobody will ever sing that. And you're like, well, of course they won't. It's a line. They need a song, you know?
Yeah.
So instead of closing it, like, you're like, oh, no, that's rubbish. It's only a guitar chord. It can't be rubbish, you know?
Can't be
It's
rubbish.
only 2 chords. Yeah, it's been done before. Well, yeah, G has been played before. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
But give it a bit more. So I've tried of knocking down walls if I see them, you know, and I think it's a big part of being an artist, a writer, a performer. If you find the fear, you're probably on the right track, you know.
That's a good line.
And there's
Yeah.
lots of moments. Yeah, there's lots of moments I have like that. You know, as I progressed, sometimes it's in performance, sometimes in writing. And an example would be using, you know, more jazz influences as I get older because I'm not a jazz musician, but it doesn't mean I can't dabble in it or use it or try
Absolutely.
it, you know?
Hmm.
And I think that's a very big thing. And to go back to it, you know, so growing up, I had friends who were into all kinds of different music, metal and, you know, trash, black metal, DJ friends who were into dance music, The Prodigy. And I just was fascinated by it. You know, I just loved the idea of all these different avenues you could pursue and things you could take from one and bring into another. And what happens if you play, you know, a Bob Marley song in the style of REM? Just these weird mashups in my head. And I really tried to keep that going, you know?
Absolutely. Which is a very good thing, as you said, to be able to be influenced by a plethora of different styles that you're not kind of, you know, I was always very much in the folk idiom or whatever you want to call it, you know, folk rock, you know, but do you write predominantly on guitar? Or have you other instruments like piano that you can sort of write on or dabble on?
Guitar is my main one, definitely. I have the odd time touch on piano, but you know, I wouldn't hire me to play piano. I can make it walk, but I can't make it sing. Now, bear in mind, I said walk, not talk.
Yeah,
I can make it walk. I have done it in a studio where I had nobody to play the piano, and I've literally recorded it left hand and then right hand. I put them together, and it sounds amazing then because on the left hand I'm playing with 2 hands, you know. But it's just I'm not. I've never had the practice to you know actually sit with the piano and become confident in it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was lucky in that regard. Anyway, there was a lot of music around me.
Yeah, including your father.
And,
was
you know,
yeah, and he was a musician. Your dad was. You said, well, in his student days, anyway.
Well, he's always played. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he's always played, and so you know, there's always a guitar in the corner of the room. It just makes it different for you, I suppose. You know, it's only when you meet people who don't have that you kind of think, oh, I've actually been very lucky here, not realizing, you know. I had one. My brother's the same. My brother would be a financial controller, an accountant's accountant, let's say.
Yeah.
But he plays music still, you know, and he has a piano in the house. He has a guitar, and it does a lot for you just to have that family that's, you know, everyone can sing or play, or at least their body and soul is into the music when it's happening, and that just it does things for you that you don't realize at all, you know.
That's right. No, I have it myself, of course. You know, my father was watching there at the moment from Offaly. We're not too far from Carlow, but I don't know. My father's ever been to Carlow. Have you, Da? Have you ever been to Carlow, Da? Let us know. You took on the name "The Man from Carlow" as a stage name, which is really cool. Where did that come from? Was that something that you started being called in bars, or what was the story behind it?
It was a man from Cork said that. Would you believe it?
What?
Yeah. That was John O'Leary, who owned an Irish bar here in Sofia when I came here not so many years ago, and he just thought it sounded good and he'd use it, and then I liked the sound of it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use that, and it works for some reason, you know.
It does.
It's you know, because Carlow's not a big county as well. It's kind of funny. Like maybe he is the only man from Carlow.
Maybe he is.
You know, and at least, you know, some of the places I've been to, I can say I'm the only man from Carlow to get there, you know. So
what brought you out there? I know you said you played a lot in the Balkans over the years. When you,
Yeah.
I knew your name from the Brussels scene. We never met in the Brussels scene. We never met in
No,
person.
no.
But,
Yeah.
you know, one of these things where you see, you know, the hero is
Yeah.
leaving next weekend. Jamie Mc Donald,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
man from Carlow is playing. You know,
Yeah.
one of those scenarios, because we did a lot of the Irish pubs, the Old Oak, and we
Yep.
did a lot of, you know, back in the day. So, and then you started doing tours. You're telling me in the Balkans, and it kind of progressed from
Yeah.
there, did it?
Yeah, exactly that. That was through busking on the street. Part of what I did years ago when I started to, I kind of made a choice. You know, I definitely want to be doing music all the time. So I decided busking was a great way to learn and to push myself to get out there and just do it.
Yeah.
While I was busking, then I fell into the company of a wonderful bunch of miscreants, to put it mildly. And they're just fabulous people who were traveling the world and doing their own thing. And some were escape artists, some were magicians, some were doing, you know, insane acts who were making up on the spot and all kinds of things. But
Yeah.
one of the guys who I met in Galway was Todd Various, who was from Chicago via Florida. And Todd and I just clicked, and you know, we still a great friend. And he invited me to a festival in Macedonia, which is right next door to Bulgaria, basically. And so that got me involved in the Balkans, and I returned there a few years and did the festival there. And the last time I did it, I ended up going all over the Balkans with the same festival. It was in Croatia, in Serbia, and just all over, every single country, basically, either for
Yeah.
a day or two or a week or longer, depends on where we were. And I ended up back in Macedonia, and the only place I hadn't been was Bulgaria. So I thought, well, I might as well go. You know, I had picked up. I've told it here it's slightly different, but it did actually happen that I picked up along my way. Somebody had dropped me a 5 leva note, which is the currency here in Bulgaria, and I'd carried it the whole tour, and I guess it was kind of playing in the back of my head, you know, like, will I ever use this? You know,
Yes.
where does it
Yeah.
come from?
A
And I
flavor.
thought, yeah. So I did. Yeah, so I was brought here by a fiver. You know, I'm not an expensive date.
Oh, brilliant. And been there
Yeah,
ever since. And now you're well
yeah,
settled with
pretty much.
hobbies and everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. So
Amazing.
I really do love it here. There's just a great energy to it. It's still quite raw, but it's changing, and I think I enjoy the mixture. You know, um, the
Yeah,
change and
sure. Of course, because
the
big different than Ireland, different than Ireland or even Brussels or any of the other. You were in Vienna,
yeah,
you said as well. Yeah, you were all over.
yeah. It's a very unique energy here because it's on the edge of Europe, and the next country over is Asia. You know, you get into and so you're
Oh,
aware
you're a
of
long
this
way over.
boundary.
Yeah,
But on the flip side, it makes it somehow more European than the rest of the Balkans because it's kind of trying to prove how European it is because it's on the edge. So it's
right.
got that very unique dynamic. And then during the Balkan Wars of the 90s, Bulgaria wasn't involved. So while there was US planes stationed here, they weren't involved. So it just meant they moved on from a lot of the Balkan mindset.
Oh, yeah.
So it just gave it that unique thing. So it's just a very different energy than a lot of the other countries. And I just liked it. I mean, I still remember my first day walking down the main street. It was a Sunday, and I just thought this is really alien because first of all, you have Cyrillic, the different alphabet everywhere. But there's
Right.
something about the street. I just thought I like this energy here. You know, it really grabbed me on that first day, and I discovered more, and I met thousands and thousands of great people since, and I've had so many wonderful experiences, and I'm still having them. You know,
Good to
so
hear.
yeah,
Good to
yeah,
hear.
really like it here. Yeah.
We have another song, will we? Why not?
Sure. So what we're making?
I'm looking at this so far session that you did with the band. Big bass drum, I think is that the name of the song?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's off the last studio album we did, which Dark of Hardness is what that's called. Actually, a weird Belgian connection there.
What is that?
Uh,
Dark of Heartness instead of Heart of Darkness.
Dark of
Dark of Heartness.
Hardness. Yeah,
Dark of Heartness.
that's the one.
Love it.
Yeah, somehow it rolled in my head. It made sense. I was like, I could get that. Yeah.
Back and talkwards. Yeah.
And Yeah, exactly. That's the one. Talking backwards and making sense somehow. So this was one we did so far sessions, which you're probably familiar with, but this is the Bulgarian one,
great.
and
Yeah.
demo happened to be over actually in Bulgaria. So we had later that day, but I dragged him along just for this strip back session that we did, and a lovely experience. It was a lovely evening.
Yeah, it's a
Just
very
perfect. I mean,
popular
I think everything
show.
they do, they have a lovely setting.
They do. Love this
Yeah,
so far.
yeah,
I've been
and
watching a lot
this,
of these as well to get tips from my own channel. You know, I'm
yeah,
trying to do something like this, but
yeah,
obviously on a more amateuristic level, because
on different.
of course so far
Yeah.
is more like a TV show, but
Such a brand now.
it's gorgeous. It's such a brand indeed. It sure is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give it a go. We'll give it a
And
spin if you don't mind, Jimmy.
yeah, go
Unless
ahead.
you
Yeah.
were going to say something. Were you going to say something there?
Well, I was just going to say this particular song was a big one for me because I wrote it just after I finished the previous album. Like it's was still recording the previous album, and I wrote this song, but it really pointed the direction for the next album. So I didn't rush it and put it on the previous album, even though I could have. I just felt, okay, this is somewhere else. And I kind of got the sense I need saxophone. I need to have that jazzier feel to it. I need to explore something new on this. So this song was really the one that went, okay, this is where the next few songs are going to go and where the album will feel different to the previous one. So, yeah, and I it's still a really popular one. You know, whenever I play it, people really dig it, and I like it. I like to walk around in it.
I dig it myself.
Yeah.
Let's have a listen, folks. Jamie Mc Donald, and the number 9 is called Big Bass Drum from the So Far Sessions of Sofia. Thank you to So Far Sounds for allowing me to steal their video for the show here. Jamie Mc Donald and the number 9 Big Bass Drum.
This old town is closing down. Since you're gone, it's not the same. All the animals in the juke joints, they dance around insane. But the big bass drum goes boom, boom, boom. It seems to me such a crying shame. They took the factories away. Now the days just drip by, looking for ways to escape. And the big bass drum goes boom, 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 like the town used to before it went away. The big bass drum sounds a marching beat. That old Main Street dragged the feet on down to the river to drown her sorrows and forget your fate. Places we haunted don't stand a ghost of a chance. No protection, no expectation, no hope of things looking up. Baby, I'll board a train and I'll find your trail. I'll track you down and drag you back here again to where the big bass drum goes boom, 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 like the town used to before you went away. The big bass drum sounds a marching beat. Old Main Street drags our feet on down to the river to drown her sorrows and forget your face. I wish I could forget your face.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The Big Bass Drum. No wonder it's a popular track. It's mighty.
Yeah, it's a funny one. Came kind of too easily almost.
I hate those songs too. Yeah, I don't trust those easy songs.
No, you keep looking for it. Where did I rob that from? Who did I? Is it the Monkeys theme tune slowed down or something?
Yeah.
What have I done?
Exactly.
You're just
I've just rewritten. Yeah, rewritten my way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, no, they're dangerous. I know, but so far so good. No lawsuit.
Yes.
No lawsuit.
No.
Yeah.
All
Tell us this.
good, all good. Although I suppose when you have a lawsuit on your hands, right? So maybe
Then you know you've written a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you said about the lawsuit?
Exactly. Yeah. You know you're out to opener there when they're queued up to sue you.
Yeah, my kingdom for a lawsuit. Corona aside, would you normally be home now with family at Christmas, or does it only happen every few years?
I've tried to more and more spend time with family. Obviously as the girls get older, try not to go away for as long if I can help it. I mean, the plan would be as they get older, I'd ideally like to bring them to see more places. But I try not to be away if I can help it,
I understand that too when they're younger, yeah.
It's also a rare privilege. I mean, not many people get to do that with their kids. And I think that, certain choice, you make sacrifices to be a musician, but they're your choice. I mean, you're like, okay, I want to be a musician. Therefore, I do prefer to be out on the road rather than be working a 9 to 5. But the flip side of that, you also have those choices where you're like, do I want to be at home with the kids? And you'd get a lot more time with them if you want it,
Yes.
So it's part of the life choice, I guess. You just have to realize that you can still make those choices and they can be really good and positive. And, something really simple that came to me after my eldest was 2. By the time she was 2, I don't know why, I'm not big into maths, I'll tell you, but I sat down one day and briefly thought about it, and I realized I'd spent more hours with her by the time she was 2 than I have with my dad during our whole lives. Because a different way to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He worked 9 to 5, and he had his own businesses, so he was working the old-fashioned way. Work. And I just thought, geez, that is incredible. Absolutely
it is incredible.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, I've
and you
like
want
that,
that
I want to keep
for her.
that up. Yeah, and I don't think anybody does that on purpose. They think I'm doing the best by providing for them. But when you have an opportunity to spend more time, well, I'm going to take it. It's as I said, it's a lucky offshoot of this life, so I might as well make the most of it.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
What's your Lion's tea or Barry's tea?
I have a tea caddy here, and it's Barry's. I'll be honest.
Good man,
It's a Barry's
you can
tea.
say. Just a random thing that came into my head there. I saw you drinking tea and I went, I'm going to ask you now.
I get regular supplies.
I'm waiting for my shipment from Ireland. I was going to cut you off there if you said Lions.
Oh, it's all over, baby blue. We're out of here.
Forget it. Right. Look,
I'm not even doing the real room anymore. I'm sick of it. I can't do it. Can't face it. Your man said Lions. Come here. Did you ever know anybody to win a car from Lions? Now, I saw them actresses. I don't know anybody who ever won that Toyota Starlet.
No,
remember?
I don't think so. Could you send them in? Could you send in for bicycles and stuff like that? I think you could send these little coupons,
little tokens, right? Yeah.
Tokens, yeah.
Don't know
I remember
anybody who got
sending
any
me a lot of
Goliath.
no. I don't know
No.
if anyone won anything. No, maybe my dad knows someone who won anything from those coupons. Yeah, but thousands of people sent them in every week. They used to cut out
Yeah.
these little tokens and send them in. I remember.
Yeah, it was casting it.
Is there one thing in particular, if you had to choose one thing that you sort of miss the most about living in Ireland, what would you think that would be? Don't say tea bags.
No, do you know? I think a big is I do miss family, like having a large extended family, and you can't accidentally bump into them. Do you know?
Yeah.
There's something really nice about when you're home and you're walking down the street and you just meet people. There's no big deal about it, but actually it is a big deal because of that. It's so casual that you just bump into people, you know, a cousin you haven't seen in years, he has kids,
Right.
and you're meeting wives and families, and it's just that casual thing is one of the big ones that you can't replicate by calling someone because it becomes a formal deal, you know.
Mm.
And that is just maybe the nicest thing about being in Ireland when we do visit. And one of the big things about being away. But again, as a musician, you tend to miss out on a lot of things anyway. You know, a lot of events. You know, around Christmas, you're busy playing.
Yes.
You know, even if you're, you tend to be away a lot. So family is probably the one thing that becomes very important, and you're aware of missing it.
I understand that completely.
Of course, yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, I would probably answer the same thing. Yeah, it is. There's a especially around this time of the year. Of course, it's a tough time to be away.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
When you did tour in the height of it, did you were you out for long stretches? You
A
intimated
week,
to
2
it
weeks,
earlier, but
maybe. It depends. Like it varied a lot because sometimes, I mean, I spent I don't know, a good few years busking and just traveling, and almost.
yeah,
I mean, it sounds. I use the word homeless, but I don't mean it because I never felt that way. Because I felt like there was a particular, maybe because there was a reason for it.
but there's
I was
vagrancy about
traveling
it.
and
Yeah,
playing. Yeah, I wasn't looking for home. I was looking for, you know, I really love the idea of the old-fashioned paying your dues, traveling and playing in crappy bars because that was kind of essential. Because then you could play in a better bar and a better bar, and you had a sense of progress, you know. And I think a lot of musicians suffer from it, not knowing where they are at in
yeah,
themselves, because there's no, like, you can do rock school, but then you graduate rock school and you still go back on the same circuit. It doesn't
yeah.
bump you up to the next level. So I really, really enjoyed that sense of paying my dues, of busking and getting gigs from busking and playing in bars, and then being asked to play in bars in other countries and being asked back and being asked to festivals and all this kind of progression. I really, really enjoyed it, you know. So that sense of homeless didn't really sink into my head. No, I know many people would have maybe thought of me that way, or even said to me, like, do you not miss having somewhere to go at night, like, or, you know, having your own
Yes,
place?
yes,
And I'm like, I kind of do have my own place in music, do you know. And that was,
yeah.
I felt like my
That was your
place to
life.
be was up here where the music was, you know.
Yeah,
um
because it's not always easy. I mean, people say can't think it's great. You're in Vienna one night, you're in Germany the next, and then next week you're maybe in Ireland, or you know, and they see it somehow as a bit of a kind of a jet setting lifestyle, and how, but it's hard graft, Jamie, as you well know. You know, even if you're only playing,
yeah.
you know, you could be doing 4 nights a week from Thursday to Sunday in bars like, you know, Celtic or the Brussels scene or the Antwerp thing that we were talking about before. And if you are up for 2 weeks, then you have maybe five days off, you know, 4 days off,
Yeah.
3 days off, and you're spending money that you've earned. You're trying to fill that gap. Maybe
There's
you have to
nothing
pay
worse
for
than a day off
accommodation.
on a tour. It's always the way, the cursed day off of a tour, because
Course
it
the
just
day off,
somehow
yeah,
feels like you spend 5 times the money. You're like, no, what am I doing? No money
that's
coming in.
right.
It's all got out the door. And you're like, you didn't even do anything, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
yeah, but it's a curious one. Like, there's a lot of discomfort in being a musician that you get used to, and it's very different than what people imagine. But I got very good on planes. I mean, I remember, I think I was flying to Brussels actually. I got on the plane early morning. Do you remember there was a 6 a.m. flight? And so you'd
The
arrive
red
there
eye
about 9 in
Dublin,
the
yeah,
morning.
I do.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I had to be woken up after it landed. I gotten that good at the routine. So I fell asleep before we took off in Dublin. I slept the whole flight, landed, and I didn't even notice. The lady had to come down and wake me up to get me out of the seat. I thought, I've got the hang of this now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Before we fly you back again, she said.
That's right. Play to Brussels and do your 4 gigs. You were coming out from Dublin to Brussels, like myself, I suppose, back in the day.
Yeah.
And you were doing your 4 nights or your 8 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes then I would string that together with dates in Germany and Holland. Depends on what was happening. So sometimes it was just the Brussels thing. Sometimes it was all over Belgium. And then as time went on, I met more and more people, and it went further and further. So it kind of grew quite organically. Like I had one funny experience actually. I was playing in the Temple Bar in Dublin at the time, and then odd weekends I'd be out in Brussels. And one day these 20 guys came in from Holland, actually, from Valkenburg, down near Maastricht.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you ever been to Valkenburg? Yeah, the big Christmas market
I
there
have
and all
indeed.
that. And they said to me, you should come play in our bar sometime. I said, well, where is it? And I didn't know at the time. And they said, Valkenburg. And I was like, oh, okay, well, where is that? And I said, well, actually, next week I'm over in Belgium in a place called Hasselt. And they were like, well, that's 2 miles away. You could. So I literally walked. I just pure luck, serendipity that they happen to have a bar. If you're ever there, you'll see how close they are across the border, but just no distance at all. So that became a new touchstone in a new country, and that fed into gigs in Maastricht, the city, and then that fed into gigs in Aachen in Germany, and on you go, and so it just kind of snowballed with time and keeping in touch with people, really. Yeah. That's wonderful.
That's you would probably would have done Mullins in Maastricht then, would you? Was that your spot?
Yeah. Those spots. Great crack there. And Walkabout is the one I love. And it's smaller, but I've had so many great nights in there too. Walkabout along the river.
On the water, yeah. I only ever played Mullins. But I remember, I just remember there was good food in Mullins. It was a great dinner. Max was the man who was looked after as well. He did. Come here, I want to. We have a couple more songs to get through, but I really want to play this official video from "Oh Lonesome Me." Tell us a little bit about this song, please.
This is from my inner sadist. Right. So I was thinking, I with every album, I'm trying to do something I haven't done before, something I feel I can't do.
Right.
So it's kind of a challenge. And I was listening to the Allman Brothers, and they've got a song called Whipping Post. Exactly. Yeah. No. If you hear the song, there's no comparison, except for one thing, and it's in 11. So the time signature on this song is 11/8, and I just thought I really don't play enough weird time signatures, but
So you went for the weirdest one possible.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I thought
go like 7/8 or 5/4. No.
No. Let's go all the way out there. Yeah, kick it up a notch. So, but I wanted it to sound natural. I didn't want it to sound like this is an odd time signature. So there was that added thing of not just an exercise in songwriting, but I have to like the song. And so I really love this song now because of that, because I feel I actually made the song that most people don't notice. It's in 11. It just feels a really nice waltzy thing, and the chorus is in 6/8, so a waltz essentially. So it's really, but it's only when it comes back that people tend to notice that it's not in that same feel.
Well, I'll be watching out for that now when I play this, because I didn't even know that when I heard it now earlier.
So no, that was exactly the point. I wanted it to be this.
What you wanted,
yeah, but it took a long time. Oh, it took a long time for me to get there. So I do really like this one.
You decided to study 11/8 first, or did you know it already in advance of writing?
No, I basically I was kind of taking apart other songs that use that timing and breaking it down and finding ways to break it down, and I finally got this one that worked for me, and it just seemed to flow once I had it, and I kept at it and kept at it, kept rehearsing it and practicing it, and I recorded this album with David Ayres he came in as producer and engineer with me on it, and he really liked the song too. So that really helped, build the confidence in it when you have somebody in the booth who's like,
Yes.
"Oh, this sounds great. We can do things with this." And again, Damo was playing drums and bass on this. No sax on that album, but he was there, and just that sense of, okay, I've definitely done it. I've got these two guys who really know their music, and they're behind me on this one. So I've done it right. Yeah.
Yeah, you sure have. It's a
Yeah.
great song, and you. I know you're going to enjoy it, folks. I'm going to give it a spin here now while I get it lined up. There it is. It's called "Oh Lonesome Me," and apparently it's an 11/8. Listen for that now. Tell me if he's telling lies, and I mightn't spot it. I didn't spot it last time. Here it goes.
What a thing to say. Not a lot of day. You won't go away in the cool light of day. This time I was hoping for love. How wrong could I be? This time I was hoping for love. Oh, lonesome me. Oh, lonesome me. What a thing to do. The world knew I was loving you. And it's over, it's through. Oh, it's over, it's through. This time I was hoping for love. How wrong could I be? This time I was hoping for love. Oh, lonesome me. Oh, lonesome me.
The man from Carlow, Jamie Mc Donald. That sounded like 10.5 to me.
10.5, huh? That was
I got the 6. I got the 6/8. Couldn't hear the 11 in that. No, but lovely,
so it's
lovely.
ba,
song.
ba, 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 ba. The last part of the riff is the 5. Ba, 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 ba. That's the giveaway. So you actually have 3,
1,
3,
2,
and
3,
5.
4, 5.
So the
Okay.
ba, 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 ba. So that's how it flows. So 3, 3, and then 5.
2, 3,
That was
5.
Cam Neufeld on violin there. Was another guy I met in Macedonia. Fantastic violin player. He's a music maestro. He lives in Edmonton in Canada.
Yeah.
But I just met him at a
Gorgeous
busking festival,
man.
and he's just one of those next level musicians again, and I was kind of thinking, if I can write a song in one of those timings that Cam would use and would use very easily, I have
Yeah.
to ask him to play on it. And I did, and he had no problem. He just, of
Good
course
man.
I will.
And he said absolutely.
And he, again, the example of the number 9 being everywhere, I forget that, it's spread even in Canada, all over the world. And there's parts added, and, it really, I'm so happy with that song, I have to say.
Yeah, so it should be. It's a great piece of writing, and great that you, went outside the safety zone with the timing and did it, because,
Yeah.
I heard Sting do it a lot, people like that, and so, yeah. So you're as good as Sting now, you see?
Oh, jeez, if only the bank balance was half as good, I'd be happy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was just, yeah, I was going to mention there that the video was a funny one because the guy who did the video was Porrick Brennan, who's from Carlow as well, actually.
Ah,
And we had all these ideas about the video, and we shot so much footage, and we just couldn't get it, you know. And we had tons of footage, me doing all
tons of
kinds of
footage, yeah.
crazy stuff, all kinds
Angles
of.
and all. Yeah.
And I sat down in his house one day, and his studio room, and there was a camera on me, and he just said, "Wait there." And so he just turned on the song, and I just did what we did there.
Just smiled into the camera. Yeah.
And we were both like, "That's it. That's just it. There's
That's
nothing
fine.
else needed." Do you know? Was it? And so that's the video you see. There, all the other footage we ended up using in another video, along with, well, I used some of it for the
Yeah.
This Boy Is Back in Town video. We used some of it, but that video ended up being spliced with footage from Macedonia and Bulgaria, so it really became an international thing. So we did get to use some more of that footage. Anyway, I just wanted to
At
mention
least
Porrick there
didn't go to
for his
waste.
great
Yeah,
work on the video.
kudos to Porrick, indeed. Exactly.
Yeah.
Before I play the last song, which is going to be
Sure.
another band song from the Urban
Yeah.
Tapes session, Ain't No Moonshine.
Yeah.
Just first of all, we'll talk a little bit about that song if you don't mind, and then I'll have a few more questions because I want to get the background to this because we'll end with the song. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. The Ain't No Moonshine was a funny one. It did start off as a spoof. I just thought nobody's ever, you know, written the opposite of Ain't No Sunshine, you know, and it's the obvious connection.
Yeah.
But, you know, in my head, I thought it'd be funny to do some kind of bluegrass parody song. And I did sit down and write it to a certain degree, you know, and I was chipping away at it. And then I realized, you know, it's very, very hard to write a good comedy song that will last. I really admire people who can do it. I haven't given it a try, you know, because a joke isn't funny the second time, or at least not as funny. So a really good song needs a lot of depth. And I kind of thought, you know, I'm half-heartedly doing it. My heart's not in making a comedy song because I know that it's of those restrictions. But then the title had grown on me by then, and I just kind of put aside, let's say, the original comedy aspect of it, and thought, well, you know, what am I saying here? What is moonshine? Now, obviously, we have the Puccine thing and a bit more, but it's also a certain magic. You know, when you hear a moonshine, you just think of wild nights in the country and somebody brewing stuff, and you think there's a lot of magic there, you know. And then when you put it back into Ain't No Moonshine When She's Gone, you think, wow, so the magic's gone, hasn't it? You know,
she drank on the moonshine and off she went.
Well, yeah, she took it all. Not a drop in the house.
Not a drop
And
left.
so it does a lot of, well, yeah, a lot of things to miss there. Once you have that, you really have, you know, I had an emotional hook to hang the song on, and it became its own thing. And I really like this one. This ended up on the Dark of Heartness album. And then this session was just a nice little session with the guys. There's a different sax player, Chris Childress from Texas, actually. And Ivan Alexiev on double bass here. A lovely little session we did, and I don't think they meant to do it. But inadvertently they seem to have put the Irish colours behind me. Did you notice that in the video?
No.
No, just the green and the orange.
I knew it was the green wall, kind of green and orange. Yeah. That's
great. So
happy accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Come here, have you before we say good luck, tell us what's going on. You have some streams coming up or anything like that in the near future?
I will do a stream next Sunday on my own channel. It'll probably be from a select secret location, as I do.
That's from here,
but on my own
parallel Facebook.
Exactly, that's the one. I'm working on not one but 2 albums because I like to keep myself crazy. So I've got one new band album, and the other album is a collaboration with a painter, which is very strange and bizarre. Okay. Yeah, interesting. We came up with 10 titles, and that's all we discussed. So Ruby Moore is the artist. She's from Coleraine, actually, but she lives over here. And she's painted 10 paintings. I haven't seen them. I haven't discussed the songs with her, but we're going to put them together in an exhibition of song and music.
Songs based around her works, then, or the titles?
Only on the title. It's the only thing we discussed. And we're kind of interested in that space between understanding what happens if you put a song with a painting, and neither of us know what's going to happen. You know, it could be a wonderful paradox that's created, or it could just be a mess. But that's kind of the thrill of it, to see what people, what journey will it bring you on. So that's one that's been in the pipeline and was meant to open on April the 4th, because I had a completely different idea. But then this year happened, or didn't. And so it's become a very different project and more stretched out. But we're working on that. Myself and Damo again are working on that. And then in the course of doing that, I've been writing a new album and started chipping away on demos for that. So it's all in the works, and the live streams will be ongoing. And yeah, it's been a hell of a year.
What's your acoustic weapon of choice at the moment?
I'm using a lag guitar, which I got when I came back here.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the size you saw me with in the So Far sessions there. And it's I found it in a secondhand shop here, and I thought that's a bit of an ugly guitar, but I love it. And it actually has a lot of weight to it and a lot of volume. So it's small size, but it's got this just a lovely tone out of it. I really, really like it. So I've stuck with that one for a long time now.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous thing. I noticed that when you're playing. I always ask, and do you use anything gear wise? I mean, pedal wise, or anything when you're out doing loopers or anything like that when you play live? Or
I tend to stay away from the looper.
Loopy
never. Yeah, exactly. I go in circles without it, so I don't need to, you know. No, I try to avoid. I use the odd effect sometimes in gigs. If with the band, I'll use different things. I have a little big muff. You know the big muff? I've got a micro big muff.
You have a micro big muff.
Yeah, but I like to use a bit of that, some wah pedal occasionally. But it depends on the setup and how big the band is and what's happening. You know, because it varies.
Usually not solo anyway. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're in. Well, look, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you tonight,
Likewise.
Jamie. And we'll say thanks very much also to everybody who tuned in live and left us comments and kudos.
Thank
and
you
all
very much,
that
guys. And please do stop by the Bandcamp page and buy albums for the whole world. That would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Right? Everything is linked underneath, folks. If you'd like to check out Jamie's, you can listen on Bandcamp. You can buy individual songs. You can buy the whole collection for knockdown Christmas prices. We love Bandcamp.
That's the one. Yep.
We sure do. Everything is linked below, folks. And please share this video as well for us later on, so we get so Jamie gets his publicity as well out of this. Thanks to everybody who left comments for us as well. Chris from Germany.
Thank you, Chris.
There, Anna Green, Madame Martin, and Anna. Everybody for tuning in. Lovely to see you all. Have a very happy Christmas, sir. And
you too. Thanks again for having me.
You're very welcome.
Okay,
Hang on here.
I'd like to say it can only be better.
Yeah, things can only get better. Who sang that?
D-Ream, was it?
Something like that, yeah. Things can only get better. But this is true. It can, and it will. And we just
D-Ream,
I think it was. Hang on there after we say good night, so we can have a little chat backstage. Thanks very much.
No worries.
Jimmy. Thanks to everybody. We're going to play this song. Introduce it there again for us, please, Jamie, before while I look it up here. If you don't mind.
Ain't No Moonshine When She's Gone.
Ain't No Moonshine.
A live session. Yeah, and this is a live session we did. I hope you enjoy it, guys. It was great to be here.
It was great having you, Jamie.
Hopefully see you all out there sometime soon. No worries.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Right. We will. All the very best, sir. Happy Christmas to you, and thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care for now. You too. Yeah. Bye for now.
There you are, folks. The great and talented Jamie Mc Donald, the man from Carlo to Bulgaria and everywhere in between. Wasn't that a lovely chat? And what a talented man. Lovely to have him on the show. I'm back here again on Monday night. Anna Gein will be in bed, probably. She won't be here. Go to bed now, Anna Gein, by the way. It's time. Monday night, the 21st, I'll be doing my Christmas special. I'll be wearing my Santa outfit. I'll be having many, many guests from around the world joining me here for a quick chat and a song. So hopefully you'll join us for that. We'll be getting into the Christmas spirit, if you know what I mean. Very special show on Monday night. So hopefully we'll see you there. I'm going to finish off the stream now with this great song from the great Jamie Mc Donald. Thanks, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time on the next Raving with Rua. Mind yourselves.
This is Jamie Mc Donald and the number 9 on Urban Tapes. This song is Ain't No Moonshine. Everybody's going out, looking good as they should. I'm at home drinking from a lonely cup of love. Since she's been gone, my only vices get drunk alone. Now my stock is sinking low. Ain't no moonshine, ain't no moonshine when she's gone. Running on fumes, paper trails of yesterday. Same old news, same old news. We all die in a different way. Since she's been gone, my only vice is getting drunk alone. Now my stock is sinking low. Ain't no moonshine, I know. Ain't no moonshine when she's gone. Magic's fading with the dawn. Once again, I'm at home counting up my mistakes and faults. Since she's been gone, my only vice is getting drunk alone. And now my stock is sinking low. Ain't no moonshine, ain't no moonshine, ain't no moonshine when she's gone. Ain't no moonshine, ain't no moonshine, no moonshine, no moonshine,